The council will come to order pursuant to Illinois Executive Order 2020-07, issued by the governor on March 16, 2020, suspending provisions of the Open Meetings Act and encouraging remote participation. This meeting is conducted via video conference. We'll now have a roll call vote to establish a quorum. Will the aldermen please make sure their microphones are unmuted? Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll? You need to unmute yourself, Peter.
Alderman Laspada.
Here.
Alderman Hopkins.
Here.
Alderman Dowell.
Here.
Alderman King.
Here.
Alderman Hairston.
Here.
Alderman Sawyer. Alderman Sawyer.
Here.
Alderman Mitchell. Alderman Harris.
Here.
Alderman Beal.
Yep.
Alderman Sadlowski Garza.
Here.
Alderman Thompson.
Alderman Thompson is here. There's an echo.
No, here, a little. Quick. Raise that all the way.
Alderman Cardenas.
Here.
Alderman Quinn.
Here.
Alderman Burke.
Here.
Alderman Lopez.
Here from West Englewood.
Alderman Coleman.
Here.
Alderman Moore.
Present.
Alderman Curtis.
Here.
Alderman O'Shea.
Here.
Alderman Taylor. Alderman Brookins.
Here.
Mr.
Alderman
Clerk,
Rodriguez.
I think Alderman Taylor is here. She must still be on mute. I saw her photo.
Alderman Brookins.
Here.
Alderman Rodriguez.
Present.
Alderman Tabares.
Here.
Alderman Scott. Alderman Cicho Lopez.
Here.
Alderman Maldonado.
Here.
Alderman Burnett.
Here.
Alderman Irvin.
Here.
Alderman Telefiero.
Here.
Alderman Raboyes.
Present.
Alderman Cardona.
Present.
Alderman Wagisback.
Here.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez. Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez. Alderman Austin.
Here.
Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Present.
Alderman Villegas.
Here.
Alderman Mitz.
Here.
Alderman Spizzato.
Here.
Alderman Nugent.
Here.
Alderman Vasquez.
Here.
Alderman Napolitano.
Present.
Alderman Riley.
Here.
Alderman Smith.
Here.
Alderman Tunney.
Here.
Alderman Gardner.
Present.
Alderman Kappelman.
Here.
Alderman Martin.
Present.
Alderman Osterman.
Here.
Alderman Haddon.
Here.
Alderman Silverstein.
Here.
Alderman Scott. Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Here.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
I'm here.
There are 49 members present.
Alderman Taylor is here.
27. Right.
I believe in it.
Yep, 49.
There are
Yeah,
49
we'll
members
look.
present.
God damn it.
All right, there are 49 members present. We have a quorum. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. And please remain standing. I believe the Pledge of Allegiance is going to be led by, I'm sorry, the invocation is going to be led by Alderman Moore.
Thank you. May we pray? Our Father, the Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. As we step to your throne of grace, we ask that you forgive us for our sins of commission and omission. Look beyond our faults and see our needs. Before we ask you for anything further, we magnify you, we glorify you, and lift you up high. We want to thank you for waking us up this morning, allowing us to see another day, a new day never seen before, a day we'll never see again. We want to thank you for keeping us from any hurt, harm, or danger. Every member of this body, from the mayor to every city council member, is accounted for. And for that, we say thank you. It's not because we've been so good. We recognize it's because of your mercy and your unmerited favor called grace. Recognizing that you have kept us, we want to pray for the people who are on the front lines, our doctors, our nurses, our retail workers, the janitors, our first responders. We want to remember, oh Lord, the 177,326 souls in this world that has given way to this virus, the 45,343 in this country, the 1,468 in this state, and the 569 in Chicago. We are reminded that these are not just numbers, but they are our fathers, our mothers, our daughters, sons, husbands, wives, and friends. These are not just numbers. They are our first responders like Officers Marco DeFranco, Sergeant Clifford Martin, Officer Ronald Newman, firefighters Mario Arroyo and Edward Singleton. There are activists and businessmen like Harold Davis, our city employees like Ravel Burke and Faith Renee Evans, the baby daughter of Luther May and Reverend Clay Evans. These lives are not just numbers. They are not statistics. We pray for these families. We ask you, Lord, to put your arms of love and comfort and peace around them. Recognizing that your grace is sufficient. In your word, you said, if your people, which are called by your name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek your face and turn from our wicked ways, then will we hear from heaven and you will heal the land. So God, we are asking and humbling ourselves before you. We are praying, we are seeking your face by the way of the blood of Jesus. We are turning from our wicked ways. So we are asking you to heal the land. And when you heal the land, we will be mindful to continue to give you the praise, honor, and glory. We remember you because in your word you said, when we do unto the least of us, we have done unto you. So in this council, we will clothe the naked, we will feed the hunger, care for the sick and the imprisoned. We will do unto you by giving to the least of these. So as we close this prayer, we ask that all night and all day, you keep your angels watching over us. And with that covering, we can go home, go to bed, pull the covers up around us, and know that in the morning, everything will be all right. We humbly ask this prayer in the miracle, matchless, working name of our Lord and Savior. And every heart said, amen. God bless America.
Thank you, Alderman. At this time, we'll begin public comment.
The council will now begin the public comment period, which is limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Any written comments that have been submitted will be posted and made available for aldermanic review. The first speaker is Ms. Jennifer Rosegay.
Good morning, Mayor Lightfoot and members of the Chicago City Council. I am on the board of directors of the Horsemen's Council of Illinois, and I am also a draft horse owner. I am speaking to you today regarding Ordinance 02-019-4125. As you know, our lives have been turned upside down right now. This is not the time to get rid of horse carriages. When we return to public spaces, we will look for the carriages among the comforting, familiar icons of the Chicago landscape. Horses offer immeasurable health and emotional benefits to residents and visitors. Carriage horses serve as ambassadors not only to the past, but to the present and future of Chicago and the state of Illinois. Surrounded by a city of steel and machines, these horses may be the only contact with a large farm animal for children and adults alike. Interacting with these majestic animals can provide passengers with a brief oasis of calm in a chaotic world. If carriage horses can have such a profound effect on those who only spend an hour with them, describing the bond between a horse and its owner is nearly impossible. Horses may live for over 25 years, longer than most children live with their parents. Unfortunately, the allegations of mistreatment and insufficient care by proponents of this ordinance have been made by people who admittedly have no education about or experience with horses. Comparing draft horses to a human being or animal 1/100th of its size is inaccurate. Draft horses are bred to perform heavy work in a variety of climates. The load a draft horse pulls in a carriage is comparable to pulling your small child in a wagon through the park. Carriage horses are evaluated and trained thoroughly to remain calm and undisturbed. Proof of this is in their perfect record of over 35 years without a single serious accident in the city of Chicago. Carriage horses receive diligent daily care, and each carriage owner has a dedicated veterinarian. The horses are thoroughly inspected by Chicago Animal Care and Control on a regular basis to ensure they are physically able to perform their duties comfortably. In closing, voting on this ordinance in the midst of an unprecedented pandemic is not essential business nor time sensitive. We ask the City Council to postpone the vote until such time that they may hear substantive testimony in person from all concerned parties, including equine veterinarians and industry professionals. If you do not wish to postpone the vote, then please oppose Ordinance 02-019-4125. Chicagoans will get through this with our traditional strength and
Thank you, Ms.
fortitude.
Rosegay. Your time has expired. The next speaker is Mr. John Varnes.
Good morning. Ninth Ward. Good morning. My name is.
Please turn down your speaker, Mr. Varnes.
Okay, how's that?
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is John Varandas, and I'm the owner of a small property management firm in the 49th Ward. I've been involved in small to mid-sized multifamily properties in the city of Chicago for 40 years, both as an owner and as a property manager. And speaking today in opposition to the ordinance that has been introduced by Alderman Martin, allowing for a 12-month deferral of rent payments. I understand that this is a challenging time for everyone. The owners and managers that I have talked to understand the dire situation that some of our residents in, and those that are able have extended payment plans to their tenants that have found themselves with no ability to pay the current rent. This ordinance produces a one-size-fits-all solution that disincentivizes tenants to seek alternative resources to meet their rental obligation or to come face-to-face with their landlord to create a tailored solution. This ordinance incentivizes unscrupulous tenants to evade their contractual obligation, knowing full well that owners have no access to the eviction process. Alderman, you do not grasp the devastating consequences that the implementation of this ordinance can have, as it lacks necessary protections for property owners. Your ordinance speaks about Fannie and Freddie mortgage forbearance, but most mortgages held today are not sourced from these agencies. Lenders will still be looking for their payments. We will still need to pay our staff and suppliers to properly repair and maintain our properties. We still need to pay the utilities, including the city, for the water our tenants use. We still need to pay for trash to be hauled, including the associated city fees. We still need to pay our taxes when they come due. Alderman, you are proposing a nuclear solution that will produce significant collateral damage. This problem needs a targeted response. Most of our tenants continue to work in our paycheck. Those that have been laid off or furloughed have access to extended unemployment benefits. By your own count, only 86,000 Chicagoans out of nearly 1.5 million tenants have requested rental assistance. Aldermen, you should not place the entire burden on property owners for those tenants who do not have access to any other form of relief. This is a societal problem that demands a societal response. You ought to be looking at solutions that expend the funding of targeted programs such as All Chicago's Emergency Fund to respond to those tenants that truly need assistance. Thank you for your time and this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Vranis. The next speaker is Mr. Lawrence Salas.
Good morning, Mayor Lightfoot and distinguished members of the Chicago City Council. Thank you for allowing me this time today. I'd like to speak to you about the continued operations of the General Iron Recycling Plant located at 1909 North Clifton. I'm a resident of the 43rd Ward and have lived here for the past 13 years. I'm well familiar with the challenges of living less than a quarter mile away from this facility. We have lived through and experienced numerous events and the adverse findings by the EPA that the facility has committed violations based on on-site inspections in 2018 by the EPA. These violations were so severe that the EPA threatened fines of nearly $100,000 per day, $100,000 per day, should they not be remedied. We've also experienced the noxious gas and uncontrolled emissions of air and water pollution when the facility caught on fire in December of 2015. We've also noticed the improvements in air quality following the shutdown of the facility. It's not uncommon at all to go out on a Sunday morning and experience what clean air without these noxious particulates in the air are present because the facility is closed. There's a metallic taste literally when you go outside and are present in or outside. This dust covers our outdoor services such as our backyard grills, our patio tables, and playground equipment that my son utilizes. And in this space being covered by this particulate dust, that results when this facility is operating. COVID-19 is an extraordinary event and challenge for the city of Chicago, including both the healthy and ill persons alike. There's no doubt that we've seen much reported in the media that people who are already health challenged will experience severe difficulties. There was a recent study performed by researchers at Harvard University that documents that this high levels of air pollution will lead to higher rates of death from COVID-19. This is the kind of contamination that occurs every single day. We've seen the pictures of the terrible contamination resulting from the uncontrolled release of dust at the Hilco facility in Pilsen. And what we effectively have is
Thank you,
that kind of
Mr. Salas, thank you, but your time has expired. The next speaker is Mr. Leotis Thomas.
Good morning. My name is Leotis Thomas Jr., and I'm the owner of Irie Homes, commenting on the rent stop ordinance.
Mr. Salas, thank you, but your time has expired.
I am speaking.
The speaker is Mr. Leotis Thomas.
Good morning. I'm speaking on behalf of my fellow housing providers, and I'm a proud member of MBOA and the Greater Austin Development Association, GATA. I've been a full-time housing provider for about 8 years now on the West Side in Austin and Lawndale. The proposal ordinance really concerns me because I'm seeing both sides of the housing provider types, as I had recently been them both. One, the small housing provider with one or few small buildings, 2 to 4 flats, where one non-paying tenant could pose to be catastrophic. And two, the housing provider with several large apartment buildings with several tenants and a decent sized staff. Both types of housing providers would be deeply affected by this proposed ordinance, and it could change the city of Chicago completely. What most people do not understand is while several tenants would be getting relief from not paying us, most housing providers would not be able to withstand the blow of having to foot the bill for everyone until further notice. We have no relief. Contrary to popular belief, the mortgage payment is just a drop in the bucket in terms of the housing provider's ongoing expenses, such as property taxes, water, gas expense, resident services, fixing toilets, sinks, cleaning the hallways, and painting apartments. Just this morning, I got a call about 2 plumbing backups that will cost me $325 each to clear out. We simply just cannot responsibly maintain our buildings if several tenants are able to withhold rent and not allow us into our apartments that we are responsible to maintain. There could be a serious danger and several hazards that come with this. For the smaller housing providers, this will also be devastating to them even faster because most of them have very small margins. If tenants are allowed not to pay, it would take down the large housing provider just as quickly as it would huge holes in several Chicago neighborhoods. My peers and I take great pride in maintaining our apartment buildings to keep awesome and comfortable places for our tenants to live. We take pride in being tax-paying assets to our neighborhoods and wards. The okay of rent freezes and strikes without replacing all of the rent that is being unpaid to the housing provider put those buildings at risk of being lost and then scooped up by REITs and other cities and countries. I think that the general public has a misconception of what the average housing provider is and looks like. Most are people with full-time jobs with a few properties that are held to get a few of the extra things in life.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. The next speaker is Ms. Julie Heron.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello. My name is Julie Heron, and I'm a global real estate advisor with Jameson Sotheby's. I'm also a member of the board of directors for the Chicago Association of Realtors. Our group represents 15,000 members in all aspects of the real estate profession: brokers, property managers, appraisers, landlords, and others. I want to speak about the ordinance which will allow renters to pay 12 months from now. This is another example of local government overreach. We agree tenants need relief, but tenant relief cannot be a serious discussion without mortgage relief. Yesterday at the budget hearing, Alderman Susan Slodowski Garza asked the City Council to have faith in the appointed leaders in the city. I am asking the City Council to have faith in the landlord. The ordinance being proposed by Alderman Matt Martin not only lacks faith in landlords, but it hurts landlords. The ordinance as written does nothing to protect a landlord if the reduction period passes, the tenant moves, fails to pay the rent. What relief does the landlord have? The sponsor will say, seek a remedy in small claims court. That is a textbook answer, but spending more money to collect monies owed is not a realistic answer. This is a stressful time for everyone, but having City Council tip the scale unfairly and unnecessarily only adds to the stress. During this crisis, landlords have extended themselves and most have agreed to private arrangements with tenants. The legislation proposed takes away any incentive for tenants to agree to a private arrangement. This ordinance adds insult to injury by barring late fees as matter of law. Many landlords are waiving late fees. Common sense approaches are flourishing. The heavy hand of the city is unneeded. With the way this language is drafted, very little proof needs to be offered to prove a COVID-related reason for the reason why rent is late. So any tenant who wants to take advantage of this broad language can be tardy with the rent and claim a COVID emergency. Was this contingency considered? The alderman is calling on property owners to restructure their finances. I trust that each of you who plan to vote for this matter will also shuffle your finances, and the city portion of the Cook County property tax bill is zero. To ask landlords to forego rent for 12 months, I ask you to follow your own lead and reduce property tax bills for 12 months. Please consider the proposal before you and ask yourself, is it fair to place this burden on landlords? Thank you for letting me speak, and I wish you all a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Heron. The next speaker is Mr. David Moby.
Hello, Mayor Lightfoot and the council members. My name is David Noby. I serve as treasurer for the Horsemen's Council of Illinois and have over 40 years of experience in the horse industry, including working as an equine investigator for the state of Illinois for 10 years. This means that I am trained in observing and detecting animal abuse. In addition, I manage a 400-head horse farm, have a degree in animal science, and have published numerous articles in scientific journals. Carriage horses are the ambassadors of the city of Chicago. Surrounded by a city of steel and concrete, these animals may be a city dweller's or tourist's only contact with a large farm animal. Seeing, touching, smelling, and connecting with these animals offers immeasurable health and emotional benefits. I can tell you from personal and professional experience, carriage horses love to interact with people of all ages. For many families, carriage horses and their drivers may be the only contact they have with agriculture and livestock in their lifetime. Horses have always operated in crowded conditions with noise and even chaos. I know from personal experience how adaptable horses are and how well they do in city conditions. When I worked at Horizon Farms, one of our clients donated their retired racehorse to the Chicago Police Department. The department retrained the horse, which was a farmer thoroughbred racehorse, and he became one of the best police horses they have ever had. Chicago carriage horses are carefully trained and receive scrupulous care and housing. As a representative of the Horsemen's Council, I have personally inspected the horses and stables and have found no reason for concern. These horses are well cared for, happy, engaged, and healthy, and their environment is clean and well kept. As an individual with deep roots in science-based agriculture and animal care, on behalf of myself, the Horsemen's Council of Illinois, and the Cook County Farm Bureau, I dispute the unsubstantiated proposition that using horse-drawn carriages is a form of cruelty to the horses. There is simply no justification for this contention. I respectfully request that rather than an end...
Mr. Moby, we want to thank you, but your time has expired. The next speaker is Mr. John Gorman.
Good morning. My name is John Gorman. I'm a librarian and resident of the 26th Ward. I am deeply concerned about the implications of the mayor's emergency executive ordinance. The ability for the mayor to unilaterally alter the city budget with no legislative accountability is a dangerous power, all too reminiscent of the past two administrations. While it is essential that the city provide greater levels of service to its most vulnerable communities during the COVID crisis, this must be done with accountability to its citizens, or else federal funds run the risk of becoming yet another mayoral slush fund. The city council must have the ability to oversee changes to the budget and reject capricious ones. Further, any emergency use of federal COVID funds must include relief to Chicagoans who rent or pay mortgages. The massive increase in unemployment is not being sufficiently addressed by the increases to unemployment insurance, to say nothing of the pre-existing inequalities that already left Chicagoans in precarious housing. To avoid a wave of homelessness, the city must enact a rent and mortgage freeze and use the federal funds to offset the impacts on builder-owner purchase services. Renters and those who pay mortgages must not be held retroactively liable for back rent or mortgage payments during the period they could not pay, and this must be enacted by ordinance and not mayoral decree. We must also not leave out those who are already experiencing homelessness out to dry. Their inability to safely sequester themselves puts them at extreme risk of contracting COVID and represents a grave health crisis. A fund to place people experiencing homelessness into individual housing units must be a part of any emergency ordinance. This is a matter of basic justice and decency, and would be a profound betrayal of our city's moral character if we did not protect our neighbors without homes. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman. The next speaker is Ms. Carla Langston. Ms. Langston, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here. Yeah, my name is Carla Langston, and I'm an Uptown homeowner and member of One Northside and Northside Action for Justice. My main concern is how there seems to be a level of policing going on in poor neighborhoods where people's rights are not considered, such as requiring ID from folks on the street and then arresting them and putting their lives in danger through these arrests. How is arresting people for congregating and putting them in an institution that enforces congregation a solution? If policing is about public safety, this is no way to keep us safe. I think this kind of behavior is reminiscent of behavior in Nazi Germany, pre-war era. And I'm aware that mentioning Nazi Germany as a comparison to anything tends to shut down conversations, but we are now living in a country with concentration camps. And even before the current disorder due to COVID-19, disaster capitalism was in full swing in the country, especially in Chicago. I watched the meeting on public safety on Monday, where the alders posed questions to the mayor's new choice for police superintendent, David Brown. And it didn't seem to me that the community involvement was really important to most of the questioners. To the contrary, they seem to be lots of calls for more community harassment and a lot of talk about improving existing programs like HOPA and CAP. From what I've heard, David Brown has done good things in Dallas, and Chicago needs these changes in our policing that help build trust between the public and the police department. There's ordinance in Public Safety Committee from the Grassroots Alliance for Police Accountability, or GAPA, that has mechanisms for more community engagement, including the selection of police leadership and, the work on policy. And I encourage the mayor and the city council to work with us to pass GAPA now. We think that civilian oversight ordinance and the new superintendent who believes in transparency and accountability are two more pieces of the puzzle that will begin to keep Black and brown people safe in Chicago. And on the subject of COVID-19 recovery funding, it is my hope that the city provides mortgage relief and rent relief for its residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Langston. The next speaker is Ms. Debbie Hay.
Okay, I'm good morning, Mayor Lightfoot and members of the City Council. My name is Debbie Hay. I'm a carriage driver and the owner of the Antique Coach and Carriage Company in Chicago, which has operated there for over 38 years. The horse carriage industry is my business, but my horses are my family. As a horse owner, I care for and handle my animals daily. Daily contact enables me to notice any changes in their behavior or potential illnesses. It also allows me to learn about each animal's personality, temperament. This way I can provide to each horse's health needs in a proactive manner. Through regular consultation with my veterinarian, we have developed specialized feeding and exercise programs to ensure each animal's individual nutritional needs are met. My veterinarian also provides routine medical care for my horses, including vaccinations, physical exams 4 times per year. My horses receive routine warming, hoof trimming, and dentistry. I provide this high level of care to my horses because I've chosen to be responsible for my animals. Okay, my horses enjoy their job, as you can tell from their calm demeanor. ease when in harness, and willingness to pull the carriage. You can also see how they reach out with their noses to engage people who approach them and readily accept the affection offered to them. Over the years, myself and my carriage drivers and the horses have helped families celebrate Christmas and other holidays, marriage proposals and birthdays, reunions and weddings. My horses and carriages have also helped celebrate the North and South Side Irish parades, appeared on Jennifer Hudson's Christmas special, and were a part of Muhammad Ali's daughter's wedding. My horse pulling a carriage have made appearances on The Steve Harvey Show, Oprah, and been part of several movies, including The Babe and Raw Deal with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they've shown off our beautiful city to thousands of tourists and residents over the years. For many, stopping to see the horses taking a photo, taking a ride is part of the Chicago experience. Carriage horses are an iconic part of Chicago. I respectfully ask that you allow the carriage industry to continue in this great city. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Ms. Hay. Our next speaker is Mr. Tom Benefetto.
Good morning, Mayor Lightfoot and members of the Chicago City Council. My name is Tom Benedetto. I'm the Government Affairs Director with the Chicagoland Apartment Association. Members of our association alone represent over 230,000 apartment units of all types. Multifamily community is currently operating as an essential business under Governor Pritzker's stay-at-home order, and our work is essential. Multifamily professionals are showing up to work each day to fully occupied buildings, delivering meals and packages straight to tenants' doors, filling work orders on broken toilets and sinks, and ensuring the cleanliness of common spaces to prevent the spread. The majority of Chicago's building operators are small business owners who depend on their real estate for livelihood. In tens of thousands of recent instances, they're practicing grace and patience by working with tenants individually on extended payment plans and significant grace periods, just as the mayor has asked them to ensure the strength of Chicago's neighborhoods through the crisis. We're all in. We recognize the human need for housing that leaders like my personal alderman, Matt Martin, and others on the council are trying to protect, but we believe mandating a one-size-fits-all 12-month repayment plan ordinance is the wrong approach. To offer just one concrete example of why, building owners will have no recourse, short of expensive and impractical lawsuits, to collect rents from tenants who decide to move out during their 12-month repayment period. Make no mistake, we're all in this together, and we need holistic housing solutions. That's why we want the great leaders present today to advocate for rental assistance at the federal level in Phase 4 of the CARES Act. The city must urge Congress to fund an emergency rental assistance program for those who are impacted by the COVID-19 crisis and struggle to cover housing expenses. In the meantime, multifamily communities will continue to do their part to address the needs of their tenants, as they have been demonstrating. And I echo the appreciation expressed to the mayor and city council by the speakers before me. In these unprecedented times, Mayor Lightfoot and the 50 aldermen present today, of course their hardworking staffs as well, have shown the nation that Chicago is represented by real leaders. We appreciate the spirit of what Alderman Martin is attempting to get at. We do, even if we may differ on what would be the best solutions. Thank you all for your exemplary service to the public, and please be well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Benedetto. The next speaker is Ms. Sheila Dantzler.
Yes, good morning. My name is Sheila Dantzler. I'm a residential real estate broker with Jamieson Sotheby's International Realty. I'm also a member of the Chicago Association of Realtors and would like to address Alderman Matt Martin's ordinance set for introduction at this meeting. I am against this ordinance and ask you, the City Council, to stand against it too. With 15 years of experience in real estate, this ordinance is short-sighted and harmful, especially to small landlords. I have assisted many first-time home buyers purchase their homes. Oftentimes, it's a 2 to 4 unit building in which they live in one unit and rent out the others. These buyers have done all the right things. They saved up for a down payment. They've maintained good credit by paying their bills on time. They've completed the complicated process of securing a loan and are now responsible homeowners and landlords. Their margins on expenses and income is low. This ordinance would destroy them, as many can't afford to float any rent payments for up to 12 months. It's important to me that you hear some of their stories, and I'll read some quotes. One is from Tori Fisher, an owner in the Greater Grand Crossing community. She states, I can appreciate considerations to assist honest, hardworking individuals economically impacted by the COVID-19 situation. However, I do not own hundreds of units. I own one. I'm the sole provider for my household. I take care of an elderly parent, and I rent out the other unit below fair market value. I have spent money upgrading my property, replacing windows, etc. This ordinance could cause irreversible damage. Another one is from Zuri Ferguson, who is from Woodlawn. I'm a first-time buyer, recently purchased a 2-flat at Woodlawn less than 2 years ago. I've recently overcome the struggles that first-time home buyers of unexpected expenses. I take care of my family using the rental income from the unit below. I have asked my mortgage company for deferment and for forbearance. They said it is not possible due to the type of loan that I have. This type of ordinance would cause irreversible damage. And I have other quotes as well. I'd also like to read a statement on behalf of other landlords offering a solution. The City of Chicago to create a $300 million fund for rental assistance for tenants given directly to property owners. For CHA to grant emergency temporary housing vouchers to non-CHA participants who have lost wages due to COVID-19. Abatement of water, sewer, and scavenger bills from March 15, 2020 to the end of the shelter in place. Forgiveness of tickets for overflowing trash issued March 15th through the end of shelter in place, and payments for CHA units abatement from March 15th, not forcing tenants to move out.
Thank you, Ms. Stansler. We appreciate your comments. The time allotted for the public comment period has expired.
This concludes the public comment period. Mr. Clerk, communications.
A series of communications from Her Honor the Mayor to the Honorable the City Council of the City of Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit herewith ordinances authorizing the execution of intergovernmental agreements for TIF assistance with the Board of Education. Your favorable consideration of these ordinances will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmitted with ordinances authorizing the execution of intergovernmental agreements for TIF assistance with the Chicago Park District. Your favorable consideration of these ordinances will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Housing, I transmitted with an ordinance authorizing an issuance of multifamily bonds, a loan, TIF funding, tax credits, and a conveyance for Emmett Apartments Limited Partnership. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Aviation, I transmitted with an ordinance providing for COVID-19 related relief for airport concessionaires. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Aviation, I transmitted with an ordinance authorizing the execution of an agreement with the American Heart Association for the placement of tracking kiosks at Midway International Airport. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Aviation, I transmitted with an ordinance amending Section 2-20-020 of the Municipal Code regarding authority in conjunction with TAP 21 related work at O'Hare International Airport. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Budget Director, I transmitted with a Fund 925 amendment. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, At the request of the Executive Director of the Board of Ethics, I transmitted with an ordinance amending Chapter 2-156 of the Municipal Code regarding lobbying. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Ethics and Government Oversight. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Assets, Information and Services, I transmitted with an ordinance authorizing a sale of vacant property at 13311 South Burley on behalf of the Board of Education. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Department of Housing Commissioner, I transmitted with an ordinance establishing the Emergency Relief for Affordable Multifamily Properties Program. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Housing, I transmitted with an ordinance authorizing the execution of a multifamily loan agreement for South Chicago YMCA senior housing. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, I transmitted with an ordinance amending Chapters 2-25 and 9-112 of the Municipal Code regarding wheelchair accessible dispatch. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, I transmitted with, together with Alderman Suarez, with Alderman Sawyer, Garza, Wagaspack, and Villegas, an ordinance prohibiting employer retaliation and an associated technical correction to Chapter 1-24 of the Municipal Code. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Workforce Development. Ladies and gentlemen, I transmitted with appointments to various special service areas. Your favorable consideration of these appointments will be appreciated. Very truly yours, signed, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Economic, Capital, and Technology Development. The Honorable Anna Valencia, City Clerk, hereby informs the City Council that the following documents were filed in her office relating to the respective subjects designated as follows. Mayoral Executive Order number 2020-1 regarding emergency operations related to the COVID-19 outbreak. Also, Mayoral Executive Order number 2020-2 regarding equal access to city administered services and benefits. And the Department of Health Order number 2020-1 regarding shelter in place only applicable to persons with COVID-19 symptoms. Also, the Department of Health Order number 2020-2 regarding duties of hospitals and other congregate facilities regarding COVID-19 virus. And Department of Health Order number 2020-3 regarding applying governor's stay-at-home executive order for the closure of Chicago parks, beaches, paths, trails, and recreational facilities. And Department of Health Order number 2020-4 regarding medical data sharing requirements. And also Department of Health Order number 2020-5 regarding the 9 p.m. cessation of alcoholic liquor sales. Also placed on file were the City Treasurer's preliminary annual report of asset allocation, cash position, credit quality, and written investment policy of total holdings. And the City Treasurer's annual report of the Chicago Community Catalyst Trust, LLC, for the year 2019. Also placed on file was the Civilian Office of Police Accountability Annual Report for the year 2019 and the Civilian Office of Police Accountability Quarterly Report for 2020 Q1. Also placed on file was the Inspector General's Audit of Chicago Police Department and Department of Family Services Administration of Juvenile Intervention and Support Center, and the Inspector General's Quarterly Report for 2020 Q1. City Clerk Valencia also informs the City Council that all those actions which were considered by the City Council at the recessed meeting held on March 18th, 2020, and which were required by statute to be published in book or pamphlet form or in one or more newspapers, were published in pamphlet form on April 22nd, 2020, by being printed in full text and printed pamphlet copies of the Journal of the Proceedings of the City of Chicago. City Clerk Valencia also informs the City Council that all those matters which were considered by the City Council at the reconvened meeting that was held by video conference on April 15th, 2020, and which were required by statute to be published in book or pamphlet form or in one or more newspapers, were published in pamphlet form on April 22nd, 2020, by being printed in full text in printed pamphlet copies of the Journal of Proceedings of the City of Chicago. City Clerk Anna Valencia also transmits herewith the following miscellaneous communications and reports requiring City Council action. Zoning classifications of particular areas, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Claims against the City of Chicago, which are referred to the Committee on Finance. Also, a historical landmark designation of the Blackwell Israel Samuel AME Zion Church Building at 3956 South Langley Avenue, which is referred to Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. And an historical landmark designation for the near north side multiple property district at various portions of North Dearborn Street, East Erie Street, West Grand Avenue, East Huron Street, West Ontario Street, North Rush Street, North State Street, and East Superior Street, which is referred to Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. That concludes the mayor's and clerk's communications.
Next are committee reports. And just to remind you, any alderman wishing to speak on an item should use the teleconference raise hand function to be recognized. First, we're going to go to Chairman Taliaferro on the Committee of Public Safety.
Thank you, Madam President. And members of City Council, reporting for your Committee on Public Safety, for which a meeting was held on Tuesday, March 10th, 2020, and April 20th of 2020. There was one item before the committee on March 10th, 2020, for which the committee recommended passage by voice vote. Item number 1 on the agenda of March 10th is the amendment of Municipal Code Chapter 8-4-127 concerning cyber stalking and cyber flashing. There was one item before the committee on April 20th, 2020, for which the committee recommended passage by roll call vote. Item number 1 on the agenda of April 2020 was the appointment of David O'Brown as the City of Chicago Superintendent. If there is no objections, Madam President, I move for the passage of the first item, O2019-8026, the amendment of Municipal Code Chapter 8-4-127. I move for that, not by roll call vote, but by voice vote. And I move for the passage of the appointment of Superintendent David O'Brown by roll call vote.
All right, let's take them separately. As to the first item, the motion is for move of passage by voice vote. Not hearing or seeing any objections, so ordered. As to the second item, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. All right, as to the second item, the chairman has asked for a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. And this is the appointment of David O'Brown as the next superintendent of the Chicago Police Department.
Alderman Laspada.
Aye.
Alderman Hopkins.
Aye.
Alderman Dowell.
Aye.
Alderman King.
Aye.
Alderman Hairston. Alderman Hairston. Alderman Sawyer.
Aye.
Aye. Alderman Hairston votes aye.
Alderman Mitchell.
Aye.
Alderman Harris. Alderman Beal.
Yep.
Alderman Sadlowski Garza.
Aye.
Alderman Thompson.
Aye.
Alderman Cardenas.
Aye.
Alderman Quinn.
Aye.
Alderman Burke.
Aye.
Alderman Lopez.
Aye.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye.
Alderman Moore.
Great selection by the mayor. Aye.
Alderman Curtis.
Aye.
Alderman O'Shea.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Brookins.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez.
Aye.
Alderman Tabares.
Aye.
Alderman Scott.
Aye.
I'm gonna have you.
Alderman Cito Lopez.
Aye.
Alderman Maldonado.
Aye.
Alderman Burnett.
Aye.
Alderman Irvin.
Aye.
Alderman Telefiero.
Aye.
Alderman Raboyes.
Aye.
Alderman Cardona.
Aye.
Alderman Wagispack.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Aye.
Alderman Austin.
Aye.
Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Aye.
Alderman Villegas.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz.
Aye.
Alderman Spizzato.
Aye.
Alderman Nugent.
Aye.
Alderman Vasquez,
Aye.
Alderman Napolitano,
Aye.
Alderman Riley,
Aye.
Alderman Smith, Alderman Smith,
Aye.
Alderman Tunney,
Aye.
Alderman Gardner,
Aye.
Alderman Kappelman,
Aye.
Alderman Martin,
Aye.
Alderman Osterman,
Aye.
Alderman Haddon,
Aye.
Alderman Silverstein.
Aye.
Your Honor, there are 50 yeas, no nays.
The
Madam President.
yeas have it. The matter is passed. Chairman Taliaferro. I'm sorry, Chairman or Alderman Thompson on the motion for reconsideration.
Thank you, Madam. Motion to reconsider the last vote. Sure.
All right. On the motion for
Hello?
reconsideration, we did hear you, Alderman Thompson. Thank you. On
Okay.
the motion for reconsideration, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
No.
I think the noes have it. Motion for reconsideration is denied. Chairman Taliaferro, would you move for the floor privilege to allow Superintendent Brown to address the body?
Madam President, I moved at this time for the body, or I move that the superintendent of police, newly elected and newly appointed superintendent of police, be allowed to address the body.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Rules, yes. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you so much, Council, for your vote today. I am honored, I am very humbled, and I feel extremely privileged to serve the citizens of Chicago, the residents of Chicago, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you, riding in your districts, and getting to know you, and you getting to know me much better. Thank you so much again for your votes today.
Thank you, Madam.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. That concludes the report of your Committee on Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next is the Committee on Budget and Government Operations. Chairman Dow.
Yes, thank you, Madam President, and members of the City Council, reporting for your Committee on the Budget and Government Operations, which held meeting on March 11th, 2020 and April 21st, 2020. The committee recommends the passage of two items. The first is a substitute ordinance concerning an amendment to the annual appropriation ordinance year 2020 within Fund Number 925 for the Department of Housing, the Department of Public Health, the Department of Family and Support Services, the Chicago Police Department, and the Office of Emergency Management and Communications. I move passage of this item by the first favorable roll call vote of the Committee on Public Safety and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Not hearing or seeing any objections, so ordered.
Madam President, point of clarification.
Who? Please identify yourself because we can't see who's speaking.
Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Yes, sir.
Is this the emergency powers ordinance, just as a point of clarification?
I do not believe so. Chairman Dow?
No, this is, that's the second item, Alderman Rosa.
All right, thank you so much.
Coming up. Okay, the second item is an ordinance authorizing various emergency actions undertaken in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. This was a direct introduction to the committee. I move passage of this item by the first favorable roll call vote of the Committee on Public Safety and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Madam President, Alderman Lopez.
Yes, Alderman Lopez.
Madam President, Alderman Ramirez Rosa and I move the defer and publish of this ordinance and are joined in seconding by Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez, Petro Lopez, and Alderman Jeanette Taylor.
The matter will be deferred and published, and we will be coming back on Friday. Alderman Mitchell?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to suspend the rules.
They're so happy. Look at them.
I move to suspend the rules for the immediate consideration of an ordinance setting the date and time for the next meeting for Friday, April 24th at 1 p.m.
I object to that ordinance.
Alderman Mitchell, you moving passage of your ordinance by a voice vote?
I move passage by voice vote.
Madam President.
Please on the ordinance, Madam.
There's a motion.
Pardon me?
A motion to lay that on the table.
Who just spoke? Because I don't think we have a clear record. Who's the lay it on the table motion?
Alderman Villegas.
And Alderman Lopez called for a roll call vote on the ordinance to end the meeting.
For point of clarification, Alderman Lopez,
Mary,
which ordinance are you asking for a roll call vote on?
Cassandra is started here.
Suspend the rules to allow for the consideration of the motion. Of the ordinance.
Alderman Lopez, you and Alderman Rosa moved to DNP.
Right.
Alderman Mitchell then moved to
Set the date.
To set the date. I don't understand what your issue is.
My issue, Madam President, is that I want this meeting to continue. I want the work that is scheduled for today's meeting to continue, and we could deal with the next meeting at the end of this meeting, so that we are not adjourning early.
Oh, you running the meeting?
No, when you move to doing DNP, we adjourn.
No, you don't have to adjourn. It is just scheduled for the next meeting.
And Alderman Lopez, you moved to DNP, and Alderman Mitchell now has a pending motion to
Second.
Just let me finish, please. Alderman Mitchell now has a pending motion to set a new date for the next meeting, which is this Friday, April 24th. That is the motion that's pending. And we're going to move forward with that motion. Alderman Mitchell moved for the passage by a voice vote.
For that roll, calling a roll
Madam
call.
President.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Alderman Mitz? Yes, ma'am. Alderman Mitz?
Recognize.
Unmute.
Madam President.
I think she's just talking.
All right. Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to speak on the motion that is before us, that is to end this meeting and to reconvene, I believe I heard in 2 days. One, a motion to defer. I would like to speak against this motion and urge my colleagues to vote no, because one, a motion to defer and publish does not necessitate that we immediately end the meeting. We can continue on with our regular order of business and continue to vote on the ordinances that need to be heard today, while at the same time allowing the motion to be deferred and published as it just has been. But in addition to that, I think that it is a mistake from those that want to move forward the emergency powers ordinance to so quickly end the meeting and reconvene it in 2 days, because it underscores the fact that we can so easily meet virtually. And it underscores the argument from the opponents of this power grab ordinance that ultimately it's unnecessary, because we can do exactly what we're doing now. We can convene meetings in short notice virtually and get the business done of the people. So I think that we should continue on with regular business. I think we should continue on with the substantive matters that are before us. There is no reason why we have to end this meeting right now. We can continue on with the business of the people. And that's exactly what we should be doing as a Chicago City Council. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Alderman Thompson.
Thank you, Madam President. I was just seconding Alderman Mitchell's motion. And so I think you had, there was a roll call. So
Point of clarification.
I think of the roll call and the vote taken on Alderman Mitchell's motion with my second.
I believe you're correct.
Madam President, I have a point of clarification. Does Alderman Vasquez?
I think we have to vote on that motion, but
I think we have a motion. We have a second for a roll call. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you.
And just as a point of clarification, what we are voting on is to set a new date for
Yes.
Friday, 24th, as to this city council meeting.
Correct.
Point of clarification, Madam President. So is this, just to be clear, this is just to set the date for the next meeting. It is not to adjourn this one. Is that correct?
It is, the motion is to adjourn this meeting.
Okay.
To,
Got it. Thank you.
So reiterate.
so we're setting the new motion. The motion is on setting the new date for the next city council meeting, which will be Friday, the 24th. The motion's by Alderman Mitchell, seconded by Alderman Thompson. So the vote is to set the new date for Friday, April 24th.
Point of order.
To adjourn.
Point of clarification. This is Alderman Maldonado.
All right, and what would be helpful, folks, is because we can't see you all at the same time when you're speaking, please identify yourself so I know who to call.
This is Alderman Maldonado.
Alderman Maldonado.
Okay. My question is, if we vote affirmatively on this ordinance, that means that we will adjourn and the remaining order of business, not only the emergency ordinance, but the remaining matters before us will be considered this coming Friday?
Well, we're going to do this in two stages. One is to set the first is to set the new date. There will be a second motion, I would expect, to adjourn and resume on Friday.
For all the matters that were not considered today. Is that
correct? Correct.
Point of clarification, this is Alderman Hairston.
Yes, go ahead.
Did I hear, oh, thank you. Did I hear a motion to lay on the table at some point? Did we forget that?
That was not in order because the motion to set the new date is the motion that we're voting on right now.
Okay, thank you.
Parliamentary procedure.
Right. Alderman Burke, did you have a?
Yes, Madam President, I thought what I heard the motion to be by, I believe it was Alderman Mitchell, but I couldn't see him, to suspend the rules for the purpose of introducing a motion. Am I mistaken?
I believe that Alderman Mitchell was asking for an suspension of the rules in order to consider the motion for an ordinance setting the new date.
Which my understanding of the rules is that in order for that motion to prevail, there must be a 2/3 vote. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Very good.
So, Alderman Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have, were you being asked to speak?
I took my hand down because someone else right before me asked the same question.
Okay.
Same point of order.
All right.
So this vote will simply be
Roll call.
whether to place Alderman Mitchell's ordinance before the body.
So this vote is a vote on whether to place Alderman Mitchell's motion for an ordinance setting the new city council date for April 24th before the body. So we're going to take this in steps. First is, will we consider the ordinance? Suspend the rules to consider the ordinance. All right, roll call vote, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Laspada.
Aye.
Alderman Hopkins.
No.
Alderman Dowell.
Aye.
Alderman King.
I'm a bit confused, but I believe aye.
Alderman Hairston.
Aye.
Alderman Sawyer.
Aye.
Alderman Mitchell.
Aye.
Alderman Harris.
Aye.
Alderman Beal.
No.
Alderman Sedlowski Garza.
Aye.
Alderman Thompson.
Aye.
Alderman Cardenas.
Aye to suspend the rules.
Alderman Quinn.
Aye.
Alderman Burke.
No.
Alderman Burke.
No.
Alderman Lopez.
Hell no.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye.
Alderman Moore.
Aye.
Alderman Curtis.
Aye.
Alderman O'Shea.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Brookins.
Aye.
Alderman Brookins.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez.
Aye.
Alderman Tabaris.
Aye.
Alderman Scott.
Aye.
Alderman Cicho Lopez.
No.
Alderman Maldonado. Alderman Maldonado. Alderman Burnett.
Aye.
Alderman
Irving.
Maldonado votes no.
I'm sorry, Alderman
Alderman
Maldonado.
Maldonado votes no.
Alderman Burnett.
Aye.
Alderman Irvin.
No.
Alderman Telefiero.
Aye.
Alderman Raboyes. Alderman Cardona.
No.
Alderman Wagisback.
Aye.
Alderman Wagisback.
Aye. Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
No.
Alderman Austin.
Aye.
Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
No.
Alderman Villegas.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz. Alderman Mitz. Alderman Spizzato.
Aye.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz, did you vote aye?
Yes.
Alderman Spizzato.
Aye.
Alderman Nugent. Alderman Nugent.
Aye.
Alderman Vasquez.
Aye.
Alderman Napolitano.
Aye.
Alderman Riley.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Tunney.
Aye.
Alderman Gardner.
Excuse me. Alderman Laspada votes no.
Alderman Tunney. Alderman Tunney.
Aye.
Alderman Gardner.
No.
Alderman Kappelman.
Aye.
Alderman Martin.
No.
Alderman Osterman.
Aye.
Vasquez is a no.
Alderman Haddon.
Aye.
Alderman Silverstein.
Aye.
Alderman Vasquez, did you report voting no?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I have 35 yeas and 15 nays.
I believe that's sufficient number of votes to go to the next step. We are now going to vote on Alderman Mitchell's ordinance to reset the city council next city council date of Friday, April 24th at 1 p.m. 1 p.m.?
Yes.
Correct. Clerk, please call the roll.
Madam President. Madam President.
I would just ask, please, since we can't see each other all at the same time, again, when you speak, identify who you are. And let me also
Madam
just say.
President, it's Alderman Irvin.
Hold on 1 second, Alderman Irving. Also, let me just say, folks, I know that some people like the sport of this, but it's highly inappropriate for members of the city council to be using profanity Yes. During this body. So I would
Yes.
admonish you to refrain from using profanity.
Thank you, Mayor.
Alderman Irvin.
Madam President, I believe you said the motion was to recess. Are you sure are we recessing or adjourning?
That's not what I said. What I said is this next vote is to vote on Alderman Mitchell's ordinance to set a new date for City Council of Friday, April 24th at 1 p.m.
Thank you for the clarification.
Sure.
Roll call.
Please, clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Lispada.
Aye.
Is that an aye, Alderman?
Yes. Yes.
Alderman Hopkins.
Aye.
Alderman Dowell.
Aye.
Alderman King.
Aye.
Alderman Hairston.
Aye.
Alderman Sawyer.
Aye.
Alderman Mitchell.
Aye.
Alderman Harris.
Aye.
Alderman Beal.
Yep.
Alderman Sedlowski Garza.
Aye.
Alderman Thompson. Alderman
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Alderman Cardenas.
Aye.
Alderman Quinn.
Aye.
Alderman Burke.
Aye.
Alderman Lopez.
Nope.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye.
Alderman Moore. Alderman Moore.
Aye.
Alderman Curtis.
Aye.
Alderman O'Shea.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Brookins.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez.
Aye.
Alderman Tabares.
Aye.
Alderman Scott.
Aye.
Alderman Cicho Lopez.
Aye.
Alderman Maldonado.
Aye.
Alderman Burnett.
Aye.
Alderman Irvin.
Aye.
Alderman Telefiero.
Aye.
Alderman Raboyes.
Aye.
Alderman Cardona.
Aye.
Alderman Wagensback.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Aye.
Alderman Austin. Alderman Austin.
Aye.
Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Aye.
Alderman Villegas.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz. Alderman Mitz. Alderman Spizzato.
Aye.
Alderman Nugent.
Aye.
Alderman Vasquez.
Aye.
Alderman Napolitano.
Aye.
Alderman Riley.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Tunney.
Aye.
Alderman Gardner.
Aye.
Alderman Kappelman.
Aye.
Alderman Martin.
Aye.
Alderman Osterman.
Aye.
Alderman Haddon.
Aye.
Alderman Silverstein.
Aye.
Alderman Silverstein.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz.
He's a friend of mine. Come on. Aye. Nicole? Hello?
Yes, Alderman, I have
Here
you.
to Alderman Mitz.
We have 49-1. We have 49 yeas, 1 nay.
You harassing my staff? Yes.
Mute, Nick, mute.
Okay.
All right, the ordinance passes to set the next council date for this Friday, April 24th. Alderman Mitchell, do you have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Madam President.
Roll call. Second.
Madam
Roll
President.
call.
this Alderman
Don't need a roll
Ramirez
call
Rosa.
on an adjournment.
Roll call.
Madam President, I'd like to speak on this motion.
I do not believe that the motion to adjourn is one in which there can be debate.
Right.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
We don't need to.
Alderman Lispada.
No.
Alderman Hopkins.
Yes.
Alderman Dowell.
We don't need a roll call.
Alderman Dowell.
Aye.
Alderman King.
No.
Alderman Hairston.
Aye.
Alderman Sawyer.
Aye.
Alderman Mitchell. Alderman Mitchell. Alderman Harris.
Aye.
Alderman Beal.
No.
Alderman Sedlowski Garza.
Aye.
Alderman Thompson.
Aye.
Alderman Cardenas.
Aye.
Alderman Quinn.
Aye.
Alderman Burke.
Aye.
Alderman Lopez.
No.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye.
Alderman Moore.
Aye.
Alderman Curtis. Alderman
Aye.
Curtis. Alderman Curtis.
Aye.
Thank you. Alderman O'Shea.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Brookins.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez.
Aye.
Alderman Tabaris.
Aye.
Alderman Scott.
Aye.
Alderman Cicho Lopez.
No.
Alderman Maldonado.
No.
Alderman Burnett. Alderman Burnett.
Aye.
Alderman Irvin.
Aye.
Alderman Telefiero. Alderman Telefiero. Alderman Telefiero.
Aye.
Thank you. Alderman Raboyes.
Aye.
Alderman Cardona.
Aye.
Alderman Wagispack.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
No.
Alderman Austin.
Aye.
Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
No.
Alderman Villegas.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz.
Aye.
Alderman Spizzato.
Aye.
Alderman Nugent.
Aye.
Alderman Vasquez.
We have other people's work to do, so no.
Alderman Napolitano.
Yes.
Alderman Riley.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Tunney.
Aye.
Alderman Gardner.
Aye.
Alderman Kappelman.
Aye.
Alderman Martin.
No.
Alderman Osterman.
Aye.
Alderman Haddon.
Aye.
Alderman Silverstein.
Aye.
30.
Mr. Clerk,
There are 39 yeas, 11 nays.
the motion to adjourn passes. The meeting is adjourned
All
until
right.
Friday, April 24th at 1 o'clock.